What's good, y'all? Gang, gang, welcome back to Energy, back with another banger. Alrighty, let's get into the thick of it. What is going on, Spirit? What are the messages? We may even get some life advice, messages, whatever comes out, Spirit. General read. General read. All praise to the Most High. Trust your intuition over mine. Only real shit come out my mouth and only real niggas gonna hear it. Period. Period. Let me stop yelling. I'm gonna wake my son up. Alright. Alright, let's get into it. What's going on? We have the Two of Pentacles, Seven of Wands in reverse. Too many cards. Seven of Cups. Four of Pentacles. Okay. One more card here. Someone's indecisive about something here, or was going back and forth to things, or maybe just only juggling the idea of two ways of doing something. But they're now open to like the power of suggestion, or maybe even just possibilities, seeing how there are possibly endless choices, endless scenarios of how something could play out or how something would best be taken care of. I feel like somebody is in more of like a purposeful wishing type of energy. So like high vibrational, but like really looking at all of the options, all of the ways that something can play out. Someone is being positive. This is optimistic. This is actually like, oh, is it another card hiding under here? It is. The Hangman in reverse. Okay, period. A changed perspective. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So maybe this is how to deal with somebody who is extremely like, they're upset. They feel as if someone is getting something that they're not. They're pushy, they're demanding, they're vengeful, they're hot-tempered. They're only thinking about themselves. They're also like very insecure. So this is someone who is like very rageful or hateful, and they have like really bad things to say, but at the same time, you can see straight through to what's really bothering them, and it's because they're experiencing some kind of insecurity. Or you can tell that whatever they're portraying, what's behind that is very fragile, you know. So in those type of situations, it kind of almost limits you. Like either you just don't want to deal with it at all, but this could be someone that you kind of have to deal with eventually. And if you were to really stand up to this person, there could be fear present there, because it feels as if someone is meeting you with this kind of rage and this kind of fire, that that's the only way. Like they're going to bait you into a trap of giving that back, and you don't want to get into it with this person. But that situation will continue to rear its ugly head. So I feel like someone is now seeing that there's a lot of different ways. Someone's going through like a growth spurt. This is maturity, a whole new perspective on how to deal with someone who could be like irate, or someone who's just completely out of pocket. How to deal with them, and like there's more than just ignoring. There's more than just separating or detaching and not dealing with that all. There is another way. So I feel like someone is seeing that there's another way to handle something. As a matter of fact, there's a whole lot of different ways to handle something. And if this is you and you're like prone to get irritable or really angry and hateful because of a certain situation, then this could be you finding a new perspective on how to deal with your own anger issues. There's another way. There are plenty of ways. There's a lot of ways with dealing with, especially like anger, rage. There's so many different ways, just to name a few that's on the top of my head. But get moving, get active, exercise, take a shower, go for a walk, run up and down some stairs, cook, clean. Like, there's a lot of different ways than to just give in to your rage and pretty much unleash it onto a person. Now, sometimes, depending on who the person that you're dealing with, sometimes that's the easiest way to get through to them. But you always want to be conscious of what you're really giving them. You want it to be in the upright. You want it to be the light. You want it to be justified. You want to be balanced. And you want to be honest, because that's the only things that can come back to you. But if you're going to hit somebody with some kind of rage and it's coming from all of your insecurities and jealousies and it's lies and it's hatred, then you could get that back. And it may not come through that person. It could come through a lot of different ways. So just be aware of that. But there's always a lot of different, like, there's always options. There's always options. So someone who could have been holding on to like an old way of doing things and feeling as if that was the only way that they could handle this situation. It's the only way to shut them up. It's the only way to deal with this. It's the only way for them to get off my back. It's the only way for me to relax. Like, whatever it is, someone does not feel boxed in anymore. There's a lot of different ways that they can handle something. There's a lot of different ways that they can deal with something. And someone's gained this new perspective shift. Look, and when I split the deck, it's the Three of Swords. Optimism, forgiveness, recovery, healing, releasing pain, and acceptance. Someone is really seeing this, like truly seeing this, but I feel like they're seeing it for themselves. They're seeing that basically a lot of times it really causes for you to open up your heart space. The heart being closed sometimes is a protection, but also it could be that you're blocking blessings, you're blocking information, you're blocking clarity, you're blocking these options that you're looking for. So you're asking for more ways of handling something or dealing with something or being capable of something, but you're also blocking it off because you're not willing to get into your heart. So I feel like someone may have healed whatever the issue was that was keeping them from feeling their true feelings, because those true feelings help this person to gain a new perspective and help them to gain a lot of different ways of dealing with something. Okay. And for some, this don't have anything to do with like an emotional response, but it could just be dealing with someone who gets really angry, or someone who is very angry or tense when it comes to like finances. So maybe this is someone who gets really mad at you when you don't have the money that they want you to, or this is you getting mad at yourself, or you're blocking out, opportunities for money. It feels like someone had a fear of change, a fear of doing something different. So they were blocking the changes that they were asking for. They were blocking new opportunities, doors that could open and become available to them. I also feel as if someone wasn't even being heard. They're not saying anything. Okay, they're not expressing themselves. So this was also a lot of different blockages, and someone was basically saying no. They were asking for something or wanting something, but feeling as if there were only maybe two ways of getting it or two ways of doing it, and that was causing them to have these issues. But there's a lot of different ways that you can get money, especially these days. There's a whole lot of different ways, a lot of flexible ways that you can get money from the comfort of your own home, from riding around in your vehicle, doing things that you do on a normal basis. It's just a lot of different ways. So I feel like somebody was basically saying what they wanted, but then also saying no simultaneously because they were closed off, they were guarded, or they just wanted to stay in this pessimistic mindset. This is the only way it can happen. Okay, so someone's opening up here and no longer afraid of change. Also, someone could be being pushed to be a little more frugal. Someone could be, what do you call that? Not splurging, the opposite of splurging, budgeting. Okay. someone could have been opposed to budgeting, opposed to having to like condition their lifestyle to fit where their, finances are. Someone could have had, really strong resistance to this. We have a Capricorn energy. They could have had like really strong resistance to this. So they were actually not blocking out ways to make more money to be able to continue the lifestyle that they want to, but they were also blocking out the ways in which that they could continue to do what they were doing and still be happy or get the things that they want just by making a few adjustments. So someone's just very closed-minded and guarded and saying no here. I don't feel like this person is changing, but this could be the person that you're gaining a new perspective. You're seeing how this person is running into the same situations with the Ace of Wands in reverse. They're running into the same situations, running into the same frustrations. Nothing has changed. And you're seeing the pattern. So you could actually be gaining a perspective shift, or I feel like somebody is here gaining a perspective shift because they're looking at someone else and seeing what happened to them. They're learning from someone else's pretty much, I don't know, their issue, their problem, everything is a lesson. And it feels like this person is taking a lesson without actually having to live it because they're learning from someone else's example. Okay, either way. All right, let's see. Optimism, healing, recovery. What's this here with the Three of Swords in reverse? Someone's got the swords out of their heart space. Something was ailing them, keeping them unstable. They were unsure. It was possibly keeping them ungrounded because they could not find the clarity of what was really bothering them. What was bothering them? What was weighing on their spirit? Something was weighing on this person's spirit. Okay, boundaries. Boundaries. For some of you, what you realize is that what you were carrying was a burden. It wasn't even your own. It was a burden that someone else was going through. And either they were projecting this onto you, or you did not have boundaries set up where, this person can't come and cry to you. They can't come and put this grievance on your shoulders. They cannot, this is not your fault. It's not your shit. You don't have to deal with it. Something like that. It feels like this is an attack that happened in the spirit. Now, you could be aware of this situation. It says optimism, forgiveness, recovery, healing. But it doesn't mean that this person wasn't still trying to get you to drink from this cup where you would feel some kind of dissatisfaction or even guilt or something like that, maybe. So it feels like someone was trying to project depression onto you, or make you feel as if you had missed out on opportunities, make you feel as like fear. This is fear. Fear-mongering, blind spots, feeling disconnected, boredom, feeling like you need to reevaluate your life and everything that you're doing. Okay, you may have been open because we have rejection. These are things that they're not a part of your reality. You weren't open to that because mostly where you're at is a place of optimism, and optimism is where there's really no reason for you to be in fear or depression because you know your way out. You're aware of the possibilities, right? So yeah, you're willing to sacrifice, you're willing to do whatever you need to, you're willing to be open-minded, you're willing to be flexible. So there is no room for you to be depressed, but you may have still not have boundaries that were stiff enough to keep somebody from threatening your peace or your happiness or your certainty and clarity of what you're capable of. Why do I feel like I'm fussing already? Okay, let's... It sounds good, but I just feel like I'm fussing. Hold on. Oh, you know why? Because the Three of Swords in reverse. I feel like I might be fussing for you. Like, if this is your real, whoever reading this is, I feel like this person has quietly been handling and dealing with some real bullshit, some real fuck shit. And maybe they don't have anybody to just yell it out to, but they have conquered it, is what I feel. So what's coming through is the indignation of this person, like the frustration that this person has conquered is still present in the energy. So this is like, I don't know, I feel like someone is feeling good about themselves. Like even this hangman, he looks confident. You could be a she too, but look, just confident. Just really confident, feeling good about themselves. Pretty much on fire. Somebody's still on fire. This is the fire that's like cool to the touch, but if you are rejected, or if you're not a part of this, or if you didn't help this but you were, going against this, then it's going to feel like hellfire for you. But this is like ice water for someone else who is in the same place as you, or understanding, having the same awareness, or coming into this same place of power that you are. Control over your life, and over your mind, and over your heart. Period. Period. Yeah, heart, mind, life. What you don't need is anybody who is jealous, insecure, angry, and pushy. You don't need that person. You don't need that person's perspective. They can't help you. They can't help you with shit. They can't control shit. They don't need to be in your mind. They don't need to be in your heart. And for some of you, they may not even need to be in your life right now. All right, let's see. We got the Hierophant in reverse. It's a Scorpio or a Taurus, rebellious, personal beliefs, free thinker, taking new approaches here. Okay, this is the Hierophant in reverse, so I feel like this is someone taking a new approach to their emotions, like growing, understanding here. It's maybe, and then it's maybe in reverse. So I feel, oh, and you know what else? This is Scorpio to Taurus. I only know this, but it's all of the opposites. Anytime you hear your sign and then you know what the opposite sign of yours is, it's like you moving from your south node to your north node. But Scorpio, I'm seeing Scorpio to Taurus, or Taurus to Scorpio, one or the other. But this is like coming into your North Node energy. It's releasing some kind of deeply entrenched belief system, which really blocked out a lot of opportunities, or a lot of the different ways that you could do something, or that you want to do something. It was keeping your mind small. It was keeping your options small. So someone is like breaking free of that, and gaining control of their own life and their own mind, and deciding what they feel is really right, or what would really work for them. Not falling into the guidelines of like something that's some structure put into you, okay, or told you this is the only way you can do it. It has to be done this way. But your mind is giving you all of these other different ways, or you just have had enough experience to know that there's another way. But you felt trapped, or you felt held back, and you felt like you could not approach it that way. But that's not the truth. So someone's going from being maybe indecisive about what to do because it's not the way that they used to do it, or it's the way that they were told not to do it, to pretty much embodying the clarity of both and deciding to go with the new approach. Okay. Yeah, new approaches and rebellion too. Personal beliefs, a free thinker, someone using their own mind, not just because they were indoctrinated, not just because they were institutionalized, because we're all institutionalized. School tells us a certain, oh, we need to learn this and we need to do this, but y'all ain't teaching us shit that have our kids. Our kids should be making money in high school. If you really want to tell the truth, they should be making money in high school. Why the hell else are we sending them to school besides learning how to read and write, okay, and use, count money and things like that? Isn't it for them to learn how to get a job and be able to take care of themselves and provide for themselves? Well, the world keeps changing, but they're still using these old ass goddamn books. And then our kids are still coming out and they don't want to work, or they don't have no money, or they don't have no job. And then you go to school, you go to college, and you spend more money to learn more things. And then you come out of it and still, you ain't got no money, you ain't got no job, and now you owe more money. It's something really fucked up with the way that they institutionalize us. So there is a need to know what you know and make use of it, but also there is a need to be a free thinker. and to really put your own belief system in place, because experience, wisdom will tell you that there are certain shortcuts that you can take. There are certain ways that things will be easier, the opposite way of what you're used to or how your family did it. The world is changing. Life is changing. And a lot of these institutions or a lot of these places that we have been institutionalized, they're still teaching the same thing they did 50 years ago. Books is outdated information. None of this shit is relevant. Okay, hold on one second. I just heard my son wake up. Let me make sure he's good. And okay. So proud of my son. He been sleeping in his own bed and just doing really good with it. It's new. It's new. And he just so cute when he be like, please. Please. But yeah, growth spurts, growing up. He growing up. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say I'm not opposed to school either. I went to college, and honestly, there's pros and cons to it. But did it help me get a job? No. No. It created debt for me. But is it something, like, if I could go back, would I do it again? Yep. And would I probably still do it the same way that I did? Yeah. Like, I'm not against anything. I'm not trying to, block out anything. But there is something that happens in society where we tend to just take whatever is given to us as status quo and the only way. And then we say no to all of these other ways. It's like pretty much thinking that we should not have a say, or we don't have an input, or our input doesn't count, or it's not relevant. And that's just not the truth. It's just information, and people can do with it whatever they want to. Oh, yeah. That's why I was inspired. I think that comes from a song, but that's why those words came out my mouth earlier when I first started the reading. Only real shit come out my mouth, and only real niggas gonna hear it. Everything that you say is not for everybody, but it could be for someone, So this may be you. You're starting to speak up to yourself, or you're starting to speak up to other people. And good for you. You're being who you're supposed to be in the moment that you are. And you never know what that can do for somebody else, or how that can add value to you. Every time you're your authenticity and you let your light shine, that it's a blessing. It's going to help your life, and you're likely helping someone else, which is going to fulfill you. So either way, you get blessed. So I don't know if someone was having stress about that, but don't stress about that anymore. All right, let's see. What's the Hangman with the new perspective? This is Taurus energy too. The Lovers in reverse. Maybe a new perspective on a situation here that you separated or detached from. And it could be temporary here, but it feels like a relationship, and it may have to do with family. And family, especially for Taurus signs, Taurus are loners, like popular loners, but they do have like a strong, like their roots are important to them. Okay, they do value family, or they value, commitment. So if there are people that they are committed to, or they like to show up for, that's a major, part of their life, or a part of their structure. But I feel as if someone is coming outside of what the defined lines have been for them, and they're coming into their own truth of, what this may be, or how they see this role playing out. Like getting outside of someone else's mind. Your mother may want you to do things a certain way. Your father may think you should do things a certain way. Your sister thinks you should see things this way. Your brother thinks you should see it another way. Okay, auntie got this and uncle feels this. And it's a lot of energy and a lot of people to try to people please. So this could be someone who is breaking out of people pleasing and coming into a new perspective on how they want to move and what they want to do. It feels like, again, somebody's taking control of their mind, their heart, and their life. And also their relationships. What's the Four of Pentacles? Also, something noted about the Hangman in reverse has to do with trusting oneself. Let me see. Yeah, this is like gaining a new perspective on themselves as well, starting to see how possibly their ego has gotten in the way and created a blockage to some of their own needs, like their spiritual needs. It says stagnation or like resistance to growth, stubbornness, and that is, well, we have Gemini as well here too with the Lovers, so could be maybe this is a relationship or a connection. The Hangman in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, it's like your shift in perspective or your change is initiating a shift in perspective and a change in someone else that you're connected to. So your relationship is growing through your growth, through your awareness, through your changes. So someone could have been resistant to change. They just kept doing the same thing, whether it worked for them or didn't work for them. But now they're taking a new approach and they're starting to see that other people are taking a new approach too. This is like feeling called to a higher purpose in life and realizing that you're unhappy not being your full authenticity. So this person here with the Hangman and the Lovers in reverse, this is someone who is reordering their priorities. Reordering their priorities, and it feels as if maybe being resistant to changing certain things. So if this is someone that you had to disconnect from temporarily, you're not feeling that you have to, even if it makes you deeply unhappy. And that's what is that called? Loyalty to a fault. And that is, I would say that's like a Taurus thing. I don't know about Geminis, but I know for sure with Taurus is being loyal to a fault, even to the point that it's detrimental to you. And well, the Tauruses I know, they've always been that way. But they also have a big heart, so it also could be not necessarily that you're not doing what you want to do, but the way you feel about when you don't do it. Like if you're guilt tripping yourself or feeling bad, or talking down to yourself because of what you don't want to do or how you don't want to pursue a certain connection or dynamic in your life. And I don't know if it's romantic or platonic, familial, whatever. But you have to feel good about your choices. So this could be someone who is opening up to a new perspective. They've been resistant to changing things because they feel that what they're doing is justified or is working. It's making them happier in life. But this is about releasing the emotional burden that a lot of times it's not even you. It's the people that are ostracizing you for the choices that you make. The people who are angry because of the decisions that you've made to better yourself or to feel better. And so that guilt, that can be disabling. And so I feel like someone is getting themselves out of that. That is a trap, and it can plummet you into depression. It can plummet you into fear. It can plummet you into insecurity. And I feel like someone is liberating themselves out of that. And honestly, it could have been an unhealthy attachment. It could have been an unhealthy relationship. So because of their change, the relationship can now change. So I feel like it says resistant to changing certain things. So yeah, being bullied is not always a reason to change something. Sometimes that means you need to stand your ground. And then you teach the other person to back the fuck down. You teach them not to try you. And then in other circumstances, the change you create in yourself is going to create a positive change in someone else. And that's going to make a positive change in your connection. So however it goes, whatever, reverse the roles or whatever. All right, let's see. 4 of Pentacles. Oh, this has to do possibly a Capricorn and something to do with money. Look, man, the Hangman just keep coming out. Here's another one. Okay, but what I'm getting with this person is that they are not changing, but likely what they're not changing is not really working for them. So this person could be in like a scarcity mindset, and it's because they're unwilling to change anything. So their situation is staying the same because they have resistance to changing. I was saying that before with the 4 of Pentacles. It's like someone who wants more but doesn't have more currently, but they also have resistance to not doing the things that are like, they're not budgeting. They're upset because they're running out of money, or they don't have enough money, or they feel like they never have enough money. But they're also resistant to budgeting or being proactive with their money or prioritizing. Okay, so there is arrogance here. There is stagnation here. They have a fear of making some kind of sacrifice. They have a fear of change, and they're resistant to any kind of influence. We also have laziness on this card. I haven't seen that before. But we have laziness here too. So this person is complaining, but they're not willing to change anything. They're not willing to do anything different. So this is basically they're putting this on themselves. They have the opportunity for a shift in perspective. They have the opportunity to change the dynamics of whatever they're living. Really, this mirrors the same situation I just got through talking about. And this could be a Capricorn Taurus situation. But it's one thing I know about Capricorn and Taurus is if this is a connection or y'all in a relationship, the finances should always be good because both of y'all get to the bag. Both of y'all prioritize money. So I'm going to say that somebody really does need to reassess how they spend it. How they spend it, or they need to stop being lazy and go out and get it. Because, yeah, no. You got a Capricorn and a Taurus in your house? Or the two of y'all in a relationship? I don't care what it is, a partnership. Y'all work together. Ain't no way money should be funny, or ain't no way that there's no way that you can get the money that you want or the money that you need. I just don't even believe that or buy that from these energies. That don't make sense. Yes, someone is being arrogant, someone is being stagnant, and someone is being lazy. So if there are delays or there's something that's happening here, it's because someone is being unclear, someone isn't speaking up. And someone also is not, sometimes with people, they're not intuitive. They're not aware. Some people are not self-aware. They're also not aware of you and what you're going through and what you need. So this person, arrogant, feeling like they're doing everything and everything is all good and everybody should be happy with what they're doing. But the other person who could actually be going through something or needing some help, they're keeping that to themselves. They're not expressing themselves. So there's no open communication. This seems like a situation that could be easily fixed by one or the other. Somebody needs to speak up, or someone needs to humble themselves. Humble themselves. Speak up or get up. For some of you, this is somebody you just need to do something. You need to do something different. Whichever one, I don't know. Whichever one. Because it says one is maybe like resistant to spending money. They like to hoard their money or sit on their money. They don't like to spend it. So then this could lead to someone else who's overspending and they have an issue. Then you guys just need to communicate. You guys need to talk to each other. Someone could be too tight-fisted, but they could have a good reason for it, especially if they're dealing with someone who squanders it or they don't use it wisely. Then, yeah, I probably would be a little more, tight-fisted with giving my money away to somebody who is not adding value to the household or to me financially. So you do have to prioritize yourself, but you guys are on opposite sides of this, and there's no unison. There's no harmony here. And someone is in their feelings or fearful of the changes that are going to happen as a result of what they're not doing or what they're trying to pretend that they're doing. There's also, with this arrogance, is someone trying to keep up an ego or a front. Okay, we have justice. Justice is about communication. It's also about legal. So for some of you, this could lead to like a legal separation, or you may already be in some kind of situation legally because of this. Like it's past. It's already too late for that. But with justice, it feels like it should be fair. So both parties should get some kind of fair outcome, or there should be a fair judgment here. It'll be balanced. It may have been better if there was communication ahead of time or if people had discussed it. But either way, justice is already here. So it's going to be served, or it's already been served. Okay, let's see. What else? Let's get the other side of this deck. What else, Spirit? Yeah, a lot of times, I was going to say that too, Capricorn, Taurus, both earth signs. You're very grounded. You're very practical. You likely, look at things realistically. So both of you actually could be in your right, but it's just not a good fit anymore. Your differences and your resistance to changing certain things, it just doesn't make for a dynamic that is naturally balanced and fair. It could be, but if you don't want to change and they don't want to change either, then that's just not your reality. So this justice could be divine intervention in your life, where it's setting something straight, or it's like happening, it's kind of out of your hands. What you asked for is happening, but it could be happening in a way that you did not foresee, or a way that you it's not really what you wanted. Okay, but it's going to be fair, it's going to be balanced, it's going to be just, and it will I feel like correct the situation. It's karmic. The situation is karmic, the connection is karmic. Likely the lessons have already been learned, and whatever growth or change was going to happen has already taken place. So pretty much this is the last step. All right, we have the Eight of Cups. Someone's walking away or detaching. Detaching from heartbreak, detaching from, this is really someone releasing the emotional baggage or strings connected to something that they were healing. So I feel like the healing already took place, but they were still holding on to the emotional baggage of it. Oh my God. The Eight of Cups just came out twice, back to back. The next card is the Eight of Cups again. Maybe this has been a long time coming. Someone has been detaching from a situation for a long time. Abandonment, but you can't really call it abandonment because of the two. Like the two Eight of Cups, this means that abandonment gives me like it happens abruptly or out of the blue. That's not really what I'm getting here. I'm getting that someone's seen this coming, or this has been a long time coming. Someone could have just been resistance to like seeing it, or someone didn't want it here. Someone didn't want this separation. They didn't want this detachment. They did not want someone to move or walk away or withdraw from a situation. This could be a relationship, a breakup situation, or this could just be someone that's escaping some part of their life that was unfulfilling emotionally, and they're moving on to emotional satisfaction, getting to a happy space or happy state of mind. They're moving on from something that likely was keeping them like kind of out in the cold or in the wilderness, or not knowing what to do, just kind of like a numb type of energy, kind of doing whatever it takes to make it through, but not really feeling alive. Yep, that's a song. I'm getting another line. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives, or something like that. Like, but to live doesn't mean you're truly alive. It's something like bringing the fire back into someone's life. Passion, joy, happiness, those type of high vibrational energies that really bring in or usher in that Nine of Cups energy. Someone is in the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of satisfaction and fulfillment, not just like, oh, I made it, oh, I survived, oh, I'm thankful, but really kind of numb and or bored, or restless, cold, not really feeling that they're getting that fulfillment, that soul fulfillment. The difference between when you're at peace and it's okay, but there's more to life than just that. There's that other experience, and it could be in the dead thick of winter, but it's like the sun is shining on you, the wind is blowing through your hair, you feel alive, you are excited, you are fully in your body and present in every moment, you're eating life up. You know what I'm saying? So someone's going from a disruption of that to getting back to that, and it could require that they walk away from certain things, or they detach from certain things, or they choose to do things differently. And it feels as if it's been a long time coming, but maybe this is what you have, someone who feels like this is abandonment, or you're walking away and it's not the way that they wanted you to, or it's not happening in the timing that they asked for it. Let's see, Saturn energy. So those are heavy, tense energies. This is growth for somebody. Solar plexus. This is growth. And a lot of times, or every time we're getting ready to grow, that's about jumping timelines too. So you're going from survival mode to feeling free. And there is like a spiritual warfare. That solar plexus energy is anything that has been underneath your feet and keeping a hold on you, anything that was rooting you and your past way of doing things. It wants to rile its ugly head up because you chose to do something differently, and you're going to have to stomp it out in order to move forward. So yeah, because Saturn is tense. That's tense. That's fire. That's fire. So someone's going through the fire, but maybe they've been walking through this fire for a while now. That's probably why you're numb, because, you know, people are angry, people are mad. Could be a lot of hateful people because of what you're choosing to do. But I feel like somebody's mind is made up. Someone is very focused, and they're saying no. So somebody is putting up boundaries here. They're rejecting that. They're rejecting the hatred. They're rejecting these emotional responses to something that they pretty much have been stagnant or indecisive about for a long time. Meaning that there was plenty of time that this person didn't do anything, so that people had an opportunity to change their minds, to change their vibes, to change their ways. This could have been a situation where everybody had every opportunity to do something different. So don't get mad when I walk away. Don't get mad when I stop. Don't get mad when I disrupt this shit. Don't get mad when I flip over this shit. Don't get mad when I do something different. Because somebody got to do it. If something doesn't work, if something hurts, if something doesn't feel good, if something is causing you stress, you can wait all day for other people to change. But if they don't, eventually, if you really want out of this cycle, you will change. And then they'll just have to deal with it. That's where you close up. No, there's no more empathy, and there's no more room for indignant conversations. I'm good on the arguments. That's what I'm getting here. Somebody, I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't give a fuck about it. All that opportunity has passed. The Eight of Cups is a journey. It's not just no fast, you know what I'm saying, turn over a new leaf, I'm changing things. That's not abrupt like that. There was plenty of time while this person, you could feel the detachment. You could see that this person was starting to close off. You could see that they were not communicating as much. You could see the moon energy. You could see the darkness. You could see the night coming. That's just like feeling as if, oh my God, it's dark now. But it was just daylight. How dare they turn the lights off on me? Bitch, you seen them, you saw them you saw those street lights come on, didn't you? You knew the night was coming. You knew it was coming. When the light go out their eyes, when they stop responding, when they stop arguing, when they don't give a fuck anymore, when they're not over explaining themselves, you saw this, you knew damn well it was coming. Long time coming. So somebody wanted to act like it was a smack in the face. Yep, I knew it. Here we go. 5 of Wands. Someone wanted to act like it was a smack in the face. Or like somebody, oh my goodness, competition, conflict. This person, you know, oh, this is tension, rival. They're doing this on purpose. They're passionate about this. They really want, no, someone was just taking action in their own life. Don't nobody care about you. Probably wasn't even thinking about this person. You could have not even been thinking about this person. You didn't do this. This could be a Cancer or a Pisces to a Leo. Like I'm getting here, Cancer or Pisces, you're the one who detached. You're the one who walked away. You're the one who, you know, chose to do something differently. You rejected this. You were not interested in this. And this person has issues with you, or they want to be mad at you, or try to send fire, or guilt trip you, or make you feel some type of way. But it looks like you expressed everything that you needed to express when you needed to. This person was resistant. They didn't listen to you. They didn't hear you. They thought you were playing, or they thought it wasn't your truth. They tried you. And it doesn't even look like you were reacting to their fire. Literally detached. You weren't even feeling it. You weren't feeling their fire. You weren't feeling their rage. This is not what you were intended to listen to or to stick around for. Could be dealing with a Sagittarius. You decided to walk away. You decided to walk away and passionately pursue something different or something outside of this situation. You chose to move forward with your whole heart, and for whatever reason, this person thought that, I guess, they had a place there. So somebody is, I'm hearing, and you could be a male or a female, but that girl is on fire. It's like you're walking forward and everything behind you is going up in flames. But these are people that were holding on to like I said, it's going to be like this, or I said this, or I said that. So they're just burning up in their anger and indignation. They were putting their foot down, but they were putting their foot down on the wrong person. You had already detached. You're not listening to that. You're not going to be held back by that. And you're also not going to deal with their rage. No, thank you. I said what I said. You get to feel how you feel, but you're not going to spew your feelings on me. So someone detached and walked forward. Period. But your independence and your ability to detach from them and how they're feeling, they're burning up. They're burning up. But it's their flames. It's their rage. It's your passion. It's your drive. So it's double fire. It's double fire. They're under fire, probably beating up themselves because they should have did better. They should have listened. They should have paid attention. They should have knew what was coming. But they're also dealing with your fire too. Because it's like you're kicking up dirt in their face as like the pace that you're moving forward now. So maybe now you are moving fast or you are moving quickly. But before, all the time in the world and nobody was doing anything. That's because when you really get started on your journey, all of a sudden, that's when people feel as if, oh, you being too cold, or oh, you don't care, or oh, man, whatever. Because when I was sweet and when I was nice and when I was kind and when I was, people pleasing, it was all the time in the world for you to change your ways or change your behavior. But too nice for that, y'all just walked all over them. So at some point now they feel like they're being walked over, but I don't think so. You're not walking on them, you're just walking away. But they're in your way. So yeah. Nigga want to be my op, God bless. God bless. You said what you said. Yeah, I'm feeling this is somebody you actually spoke up to. You said what you said, third chakra energy. You said what you said. What they didn't see with the moon energy is that you meant what the fuck you were saying. You were standing on it. You were standing on it. And for some of you, that was a ticking time bomb. You were standing on it. You said what you said, but when you literally took your foot and took that next step, it blew up in their face because I don't know if they were testing you or they didn't believe you or what. All right, let's see. We got the King of Cups in reverse. Someone is untrustworthy, unproductive, intolerant, withdrawn, manipulative, and experiencing emotional turbulence. This has to do with a separation. Someone could have been under the illusion that things were getting better, that you guys were growing or getting closer, or that you would, or that something was going to come back here. They could have been thinking that your maybe was really an opening for them. Or maybe, your maybe meant that what maybes mean. So some of you kind of, if this person is angry or feeling some type of way about you, it's because you gave them room to be. You did not say yes or no. You did not, you didn't make something solidify. You didn't stand on whatever it was that you were saying. So you kept it open like it was optional. You made something seem optional that you really didn't mean to. So somebody is upset because you chose the no. Okay, but there was a possibility that you could have said yes. So when you give someone an option, then you may expect that they may have a response when you choose the option that is not beneficial to them or that they don't like. And maybe next time, just saying no. You can always change your mind later and say yes, but it may be more beneficial, especially if you're dealing with someone who's emotionally temperamental, to just say no and stand on it, leave it at a no. And if life changes, if the opportunity arises, you can always, change your mind then. But if someone has a tendency to always think that your maybe is going to end up in a yes for them, when it doesn't always mean that, then yeah, that may just be a situation where you just want to say no. Even if it makes you seem mean, your intentions are not mean. It looks like your intention was to see if there was another opportunity or another way of doing something. You just weren't committed to the way that this person wanted you to do it. But in their mind, they felt as if they would be able to get you on their page. Yeah, with untrustworthy, this may be someone who thought that they were going to be able to manipulate their way into getting you to do something. And it just didn't play out like that, and they got big mad about it. Okay, let's see. What's the Hangman in reverse and the Lovers in reverse? King of Swords. There's a separation in someone's relationship that has come forth with a lot of clarity. The new perspective that they're having is them moving into their authenticity. This is another one of those North Node, South, someone moving from their South Node to their North Node. I had a Scorpio to a Taurus and a Taurus to a Scorpio. That's cool. The Seven of Cups, a Scorpio to a Taurus, the Hierophant. And then the Taurus, a Hierophant to a Scorpio, the King of Cups. Now it's another South Node to North Node with Taurus. Taurus to Aquarius is what I wanted to say. That's the one that I'm seeing. I'm not sure what Gemini is, but Aquarius could also be maybe Aquarius to Gemini. I'm not sure. But Aquarius to Taurus, I know for sure. But anyway, someone's shifting perspective is pushing them into their North Node energy. If I don't know if that sign Aquarius resonates with you, or that is your North Node, the age of Aquarius, look that up. The age of Aquarius. You could be coming into that. I'm not sure the specifics of it, but it's been coming up. I've been seeing a little bit of it on my timeline, and it's coming through here. But it's something, there's a new perspective shift. There's a new paradigm. You've created a paradigm shift in your life, your authenticity. A timeline jump, okay? This is it's a major shift in your life, this authenticity that you're coming into. Anytime you walk in your authenticity and your truth, it's going to completely change your life. It's going to change your life. Things will start to feel more justified. Things will start to feel more like what you asked for when you are fully in your body being you and doing what you truly want to do. It actually takes, from this place of authenticity, it actually takes self-discipline to step out of, only what you want to do, and to compromise and do things that you don't want to do, but you kind of feel you need to. It takes actual effort and self-discipline to do that, because you are mostly conditioned to be on a very high vibrational wave where life goes your way. And for a lot of us, that was broken when we were children. It got broken really early, where we started going to head start and early start, and you got to sit down and you got to shut up and you got to, school breaks that down too. 8 hours a day of our children pretty much going to work just like we do. We don't want to sit at our jobs and sit behind desks and, but we do what we have to do because that's life. But that's also a way that they condition us to be in a lower vibrational energy, because we're not aware that you can do the same thing, but if you shift your perspective, it changes your vibration. So instead of saying, oh, I hate school and I gotta go to school and I'm gonna be here at school, you could be a person that could shift your perspective to, well, I don't like this about school, but I love this, and you get happy about it and your vibe is high. Then you could be a high vibing person. Or your job, you go from I hate this job to, oh, you know what, I'm gonna make this job work for me, and at least this and at least that, and I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. And that whole shift in perspective can have a shift in the way that job carries you, also your vibrational energy. You can stay high vibrational doing the exact same things that you're doing that you're in a low vibration because of. It's just a perspective shift. It doesn't always have to be that you're doing something differently, but the way that you see it, that is what will change your vibration, and eventually that will have to manifest a truly satisfying experience, because your energy, you will outgrow whatever that dynamic is that caused you to not feel satisfied. All right, so that's, somebody's life. Your life is upgrading or changing. It's because you just I feel like you went through the fire here, and it has to do with like loyalty, relationships, karmic contracts, but possibly family members, and those are maybe the hardest ones, you know. But it will create a version of you that is your authenticity, and not only does it protect you, but it also honors your truth. It allows other people to see what your truth is too. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and people will create all kind of scenarios for you to walk into. They'll try to control your narrative if you don't do it for yourself. So this is just feels like someone being their own person, taking control of their life, or just their vision, their sight with the King of Swords, their clarity, their mind. They're taking that back. All right. Let's see, last one. What's this justice? Someone's financial situation balancing out or working out, or this could have to do with another person here. What's justice? Nine of Cups in reverse. Someone will not be happy or is unsatisfied with the results of this. Is not a wish fulfillment, but it also feels as if that's likely the person that was being arrogant and prone to laziness or stagnation. So kind of like this is happening because they pretty much asked for it. They pretty much allowed it. They were resistant to doing what they needed to do in order to get the outcome that they wanted. So they may have an issue that things aren't going to go the way that they wanted it to. All that takes is realization and acceptance. Accountability. Someone just needs to be accountable. They're being held accountable, but they don't like it. What's the Nine of Cups? Give me one more. Yeah, their arms are folded. This is an arrogant type of attitude, but they don't really have any good reason to be arrogant. Like, they're prideful, but they don't really have a good reason to be prideful. What are you proud of? Something in this situation that you called on yourself is as a result of, like, your bad decisions. Somebody's bad decisions is causing a situation that they didn't want, but they had an opportunity to change it, and they chose not to. So again, this feels like another situation where you could just shift your perspective. I don't understand why people do things that don't work out for them. Like, they know that they could do it another way, but they choose not to. And then when they get the outcome that they don't want because they didn't do what they would need to do to get the outcome that they wanted, why are you mad about it? You're just causing more issues for yourself. Shouldn't you feel smug and happy? You should be just as arrogant and proud of yourself when you weren't doing what you needed to do. You should be just as arrogant and proud of yourself because you set yourself free. So what if that didn't work for me? Obviously, that's what I wanted to see. But if you were hoping for a different outcome, then it should just be a lesson learned. That next time when you know what you need to do to make things work out for you, do it. If you don't like the outcome of something, stop doing what, I don't like that. That's like, it's the arrogance, but it's also the resistance to accountability, accepting the fact that you had a hand in whatever situation it is that is happening to you that you don't like. You always do. So accountability is what would ease whatever karmic justice you have to go through. It would ease it. Someone could make something easier on themselves, but they're even resistant to that. It's like almost saying, let the worst happen to me. Just let the worst case scenario, let that happen to me. That's like they're asking for it. Okay, that's victimization. Someone wants to be a victim. They want to be a victim. They're giving up their power. The world. And someone else is having a whole new experience. The world is about fulfillment and harmony and blessings and a turn in the right direction. So yeah, this justice is coming down, and somebody, it looks like justice, balance, not only in legal entanglements, but in any sphere where judgments are to be made. So this is the judgment is it's like the only decision that could be made under the circumstances. And it is kind of like someone is in the right and someone is in the wrong here. So the person who's in the wrong, it feels like they're holding on to that, feeling of something happening out of their control, and they're victimizing themselves. And someone else who was in the right and also being seen as in the right, obviously they feel justified. They're excited or happy about the changes here. Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius with the world energy. What's the world? Why is my Annie? I'm hearing this song. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. I just passed the sun card, and the sun page in this book. And then I heard that song. And if you look in this one on the sun card, there's 2 kids, right? So I feel as if someone, whatever this situation is, it's like tapping into their inner child is what helped them to make a decision. It's like accepting the whole of who they are is what put them in the right mind and really gave them the outcome that they truly were due. Somebody got what they were due, maybe by not just being a whole adult or being very, I was talking about Capricorn, Taurus energies is like very realistic, very, practical, grounded, rooted in their truth. Yes, that is one aspect of you, but it can also tend to make you very rigid, and you can become overly prideful because you are I'm practical, I've got everything in line, I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to, and it makes you feel as like the greater sense of accomplishment, or like you are that arrogance. That's where that's coming from, but I do this and I've done that, and I went to this school and I make this much, and blah blah blah. It's like so much of that left room for this person's ego to become extremely inflated and fragile, whereas someone else who could have been pretty much the same, like you guys are actually equal to one another, and your practicality or your acceptance of reality or your priorities. You guys could actually be equal in that. But the other person also is in touch with their inner child. That's what I'm getting. Like they harmonize that need and desire for control and for being on top of everything with the other part of them, which is the fulfillment of the soul, to be happy. And to be happy and free, you need to also have like a lighthearted energy. Everything can't be so rigid and tense and think that you're going to experience a life that is continuously free. You're not giving that energy. So I'm getting, both of you probably had the possibility to win, but one person is winning over the other is what it looks like. And it's just because they were aware of all of themselves. It's like being able to laugh at yourself and laugh at others too. It just releases the burden off of you, and it raises your vibrations. So somebody's vibe is just a lot higher, and it's making life work out a lot easier for them. Okay, the world. Yeah, completion, satisfaction, and enlightenment. So it could have been your mirror reflection. You saw yourself in this person and it helped you to adjust something, and you learned a lesson, whereas the other person could have looked at you and, learned a lesson too, but they chose not to. So they feel as if they're losing, and they are, because they did not pass the cycle. The test it's like a mirror test. It really seems like, where you were supposed to see yourself and adjust things, but that's not what happened here. So someone's arrogance or their pride led to their downfall. And then the other person, their humility and their acceptance and this like friendly or silly or lackadaisical, this playful energy that they have, it ended up with them pretty much getting the satisfying outcome that they wanted or that they asked for. And they learned and they got blessed. So this is like a lesson. It pretty much came with a lesson and a blessing at the same time. It says the world is yet another card representing change. In this case, the successful conclusion to one phase of the corn's life or experience and the start of another. They're closing out this cycle, and they're closing it out on top. So that would be like the wheel of fortune is moving in your favor now. It says fulfillment and material success are indicated. Also, to a greater spiritual awareness. So someone is enlightened. Like I said, this is a level up intuitively, spiritually. Your eyes are being open. You have newfound clarity and wisdom through your experiences. And you're also winning and being blessed at the same time. The Corn will feel that prior restrictions and limitations on him are now removed, ushering in a new sense of freedom and peace. Yes, that's what I was getting. It's the balancing act. Peace, yes, but there also has to be the other element that adds to our fulfillment. That's where we get the Nine of Cups. It's when we feel free. Peace can still be, sometimes it can still feel like a jail cell. Peace can be, it's protection, but it can start to feel like it's limiting. Okay, so that's where the balance has to come in. So somebody did that, and you're getting more of that because of that. So more peace, more freedom. And it says on another level, travel, particularly overseas, is signified by this card. So that could just mean you're moving to new heights, or for some of you, it literally means traveling. You could be opening yourself up to the ability to travel or the ability to move somewhere that you weren't before. But I also feel like this has to do with moving to new levels that you've never been to before, new heights in life that you haven't been to before. You now have an open door for it. You are now ready for it, and you are available to like take action on it. So it kind of feels as if not just do you have the peace and the satisfaction of knowing that where you currently are is good, but you also have the freedom of exploring more and stepping out on it in good faith and optimism, because again, on the right side of the karmic wheel, you're on the right side of the wheel of fortune. So this is a good time and opportunity for you to take leaps of faith. They will likely go your way. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave the reading here. That's the energy. I will see you guys in the next live. Bye.